Hey, if you watch until the end, there is a special surprise waiting for you. Stay tuned, you will not want to miss it.
Have you ever wondered why some investors seem to thrive while others lose everything in the blink of an eye? What if I told you there's a hidden strategy that separates the winners from the losers? Strategy so powerful that it turns crises into opportunity. Howard Marks, one of the most brilliant financial minds of our time, has spent decades uncovering the truth behind these elusive strategies. But here's the shocking part. It's not about predicting the future. It's about understanding the present in a way that few people ever do. In this journey through Mark's revolutionary approach, we'll reveal the secrets that could change the way you think about risk, success, and even life itself. But beware, once you see this, you'll never look at the financial world or your own decisions the same way again. Want to know how some investors manage to turn uncertainty into gold while others fall into the abyss? Keep reading. Trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next. Who is Howard Marks? The story behind the visionary investor Howard Marks' story is nothing short of extraordinary. Born in 1946 in New York City, Marks was always curious about human nature and the mysteries of economic behavior. From a young age, he demonstrated an uncanny ability to question common narratives and seek out innovative solutions. After studying at the prestigious Wharton School and earning an MBA from the University of Chicago, Marks set his sights on Wall Street, where he began building his reputation as one of the most intelligent investors of his generation. In the early days of his career, Marks worked at Citicorp, specializing in convertible securities and fixed income. This phase of his journey laid the groundwork for the disciplined and rational approach that would define his career. It was during this time that he gained historical insights into market cycle, knowledge he would later transform into one of the key pillars of his famous investor letter. Marks knew that success wasn't about blindly following trends, it was about deeply understanding them. Marks' career took a major leap forward in 1995 when he co-founded Oaktree Capital Management. The firm quickly rose to prominence as one of the leading distressed asset managers in the world, capitalizing on moments of crisis to acquire undervalued assets. Marks saw these periods of uncertainty as golden opportunities for patient, intelligent investors. His ability to spot value where others saw only risk became one of the hallmarks of his success. Looking back on his career, it's fascinating to see how Marks blended strategy and curiosity to shape his investment philosophy. He believed that more than just mastering numbers, understanding the emotional and psychological dynamics that move markets was essential. This deep insight inspired a legion of investors to approach the market more consciously and strategically. One of Marks' greatest contributions to the financial world has been his ability to communicate complex ideas in a simple, accessible way. This is especially evident in his investor letter, where he uses clear language to demystify concepts that many find inaccessible. His writing is that of a wise mentor, offering advice that extends beyond finance and touches on universal principles of decision-making. Moreover, Marks was always open about his failures and the lessons he learned along the way. This transparency not only built his credibility, but also created a bond with investors of all ages and experience level. He didn't aim to be a guru, but rather a rational guide who teaches others to think critically and navigate the highs and lows of the market. Think about the impact of such a mindset on both a beginner investor and an experienced one. Marks showed that financial success isn't some elusive mystery, but a practice that demands discipline, patience, and emotional intelligence. This long-term approach leads directly to his next big teaching, how he views crises not as threats, but as opportunities, something we'll dive into next. The fascination with distressed assets. Howard Marks has built an exceptional legacy by turning distressed asset investing into an art form. These assets, often overlooked or feared by the majority of investors, represent companies or financial instruments in distress, but with extraordinary potential for recovery. Marks saw this as an innovative opportunity to create value in situations where most others saw only risk. His approach is a stunning example of how seeing the market with trained eyes and strategic intelligence can uncover true treasure. Marks believes that investing in distressed assets requires a special skill to separate emotion from judgment. When financial crises arise, many investors panic, but Marks sees these moments as a chance to act with courage and rationality. In his words, real money is made in times of stress, not euphoria. His philosophy revolves around the idea that the greatest opportunities emerge when asset prices are deeply discounted, yet the fundamentals still hold a chance of recovery. A prime example of the success of this approach came during the 2008 financial crisis. While many investors fled the market, Oaktree Capital Management, under Mark's leadership, heavily invested in undervalued assets. They bought distressed debt and struggling companies at prices that, later on, proved to be a bargain. This move wasn't impulsive. It was carefully planned based on deep analysis and an historical understanding of market cycle. Marx often compares distressed asset investing to a game of chess, where every move needs to be meticulously calculated. He points out that this type of investing demands a rigorous analysis of risks and a patience almost akin to Zen. After all, the return isn't immediate, but those who have the discipline to wait are richly rewarded. It's a powerful lesson that the greatest investors are those who can act against the tide, something that's not always easy, but certainly defining. One of the keys to Mark's success in this field is his ability to identify trends and understand the global economic phenomena that impact distressed assets. He carefully analyzes external factors like interest rates, regulations, and credit cycles to predict the ideal moment to enter the market. This isn't luck. It's intelligence applied in its most strategic form. Another fascinating aspect of his approach is how he leads his team at Oaktree Capital. Marx believes in collaborative work and intelligent discussions to make decisions. He encourages his analysts to explore every angle of an asset, always with a touch of intellectual curiosity. This culture of constant learning is what enables Oaktree to maintain its status as a leader in the distressed investing sector. Looking at Mark's legacy, it's clear that success in investing isn't just about understanding numbers. It's about seeing opportunities where others don't. This challenging vision and his ability to turn crises into gains lead us directly to his next big teaching, his investor letter, where he shares all this wisdom in a practical and inspiring way. The Investor Letter. A manual of wisdom, Howard Marks' investor letters transcend the world of finance, becoming a historical reference for anyone looking to understand market, economic cycle, and human behavior. Written with intellect and a touch of curiosity, these communications reveal not only his vision of the extraordinary world of investing, but also life lessons that can be applied in any context. Marx masters the art of simplifying the complex, making accessible ideas that could intimidate even the most experienced. These letters started as a simple gesture to share insights with Oaktree Capital's clients. Over time, however, they transformed into a globally influential phenomenon, read by investors around the world. Marx uses this space to discuss topics like risk, market cycles, investor psychology, and opportunities in times of uncertainty. His writing has a friendly tone, almost as though he's sitting next to the reader, explaining concepts with patience and clarity. One recurring theme in the letters is the importance of second-level thinking. For Marx, thinking beyond the obvious is what separates ordinary investors from the successful ones. He illustrates this with practical example, like in one of his most famous letters, "You can't predict, you can prepare." In it, Marx highlights how, instead of trying to predict the future, investors should focus on building resilient portfolios that can thrive regardless of the circumstances. Another incredible aspect of the letters is the honesty with which Marx addresses mistakes and challenges. He doesn't position himself as an infallible guru, but as someone who is constantly learning from the volatile nature of the market. In one of his reflections, risk is not knowing what's going to happen, but not being prepared for the unexpected. This kind of wisdom is timeless, offering insights that go beyond finance and apply to both personal and professional life. Marx also uses the letters to educate about market cycle, a topic he explores with passion and depth. He believes that markets move in predictable cycles, driven by factors like euphoria and fear. In his analysis, Marx explains how to identify signs of excess or pessimism and act intelligently. This vision is a powerful tool for anyone wanting to navigate market uncertainty with greater confidence. The impact of these letters is so profound that Marx compiled them into the book The Most Important Thing, an essential work for anyone interested in investing or making strategic decisions. In the book, he organizes his teachings into practical topics like risk management and value analysis, creating a manual that balances theory and practice in exemplary fashion. Throughout the letters, Marx also emphasizes the importance of maintaining an open and curious mindset. He argues that true learning comes from the willingness to question assumptions and seek different perspectives. It's this spirit that makes his reflections so influential and inspiring. Thus, Marx's letters aren't just about investments, they're about how to think better, act smarter, and make decisions based on solid principle. This ability to blend strategic thinking with clarity also connects seamlessly to another central aspect of his philosophy: second-level thinking, a topic we'll explore next. The value of second-level thinking. Howard Marks frequently emphasizes that second-level thinking is the cornerstone of a truly intelligent approach to investing. This concept, which he details in his letters, and in The Most Important Thing, is simple yet revolutionary. While most people think superficially, merely reacting to what's in front of them, the influential investor must go beyond that, exploring what's behind the surface. This ability to deeply analyze separates those who achieve extraordinary results from those who merely go with the flow. In first-level thinking, an investor might say, "This company is doing well, so its stock will rise." But second-level thinking question: if everyone already expects the company's profits to grow, has this already been priced in? And what if there's a negative surprise? Marx teaches that the market rewards those who can anticipate the unexpected and find value where most others don't see it. It's about seeing the invisible, something that requires constant curiosity and a vision beyond the obvious. A practical example of this approach can be seen during financial crises. While many investors panic, Marx examines the underlying conditions of the market to determine whether the drop in prices represents an opportunity or a real risk. He emphasizes that the secret isn't simply buying low based on a solid analysis of the fundamental. This kind of discernment is what builds robust and successful portfolios. To practice second-level thinking, Marx suggests asking questions that explore multiple dimensions of a problem. He recommends always asking, what if the opposite happened? What other forces are at play here? How does this affect the long term? This approach is useful not just for investors but for strategic decisions in life and business as well. For example, when considering a career change, it's not enough to think, "This job pays well now." Instead, ask, "What skills will I develop here? How does this prepare me for the next 10 years? Marx also points out that second-level thinking is rare because it requires effort and resilience. It's easier to follow the crowd, but that approach rarely leads to significant outcomes. He warns against adopting the mindset of, if everyone is doing it, it must be right. For him, smart investors are those who challenge consensus and ask tough questions, always seeking a deeper understanding of the phenomena influencing the market. This concept isn't limited to finance. Marx often uses analogies from nature and other areas of life to illustrate its importance. He compares second-level thinking to the mindset of a chess player who, instead of focusing only on the next move, thinks several steps ahead, anticipating possible scenarios and their consequences. This ability to predict and prepare for multiple outcomes is what distinguishes the truly influential from the common. To incorporate second-level thinking into daily life, Marx suggests practicing observation and question. Read news with a critical eye, analyze decisions from multiple angles, and seek to understand the forces shaping situation. By adopting this mindset, you'll be better equipped to handle uncertainty and explore opportunities in a smarter and more strategic way. With this approach in mind, it's easy to see how second-level thinking ties into an even broader theme in Marx's philosophy: risk management. He believes that true intelligence in investing doesn't lie in maximizing profit, but in minimizing losses, a topic we'll dive into next. Risk management, the foundation of success for Howard Marks. Risk management is more than just a pillar of investing. It's a life philosophy. He teaches that in the financial universe, success doesn't come from getting every prediction right, but from avoiding catastrophic losses. The phrase "losing less is more important than winning more" summarizes his intelligent and extraordinarily practical approach. This mindset is what separates investors who remain resilient over time from those who fall victim to crises. Marx believes that risk is always present, even when everything seems favorable. He points out that the biggest danger comes when investors become complacent, ignoring subtle signs that something may go wrong. This insight aligns with his understanding of the cyclical nature of market, where euphoria and panic alternate. He often states that during periods of excess, the risk is actually higher, even when prices appear safe. His ability to identify these moments of danger is one of the reasons Oaktree Capital is so highly respected. A classic example of his philosophy came during the tech bubble in the late 1990s. While many investors chased after the latest high-flying stocks, Marx took a cautious approach, recognizing that prices were inflated without justification in the fundamental. When the bubble burst, his firm suffered much less than many of its competitors, proving that minimizing risk can be just as valuable as chasing big profit. In practice, Marx suggests that risk management begins with an honest evaluation of your own risk tolerance. He recommends that investors ask questions like, how much can I afford to lose before it impacts my goals? And am I prepared to handle the emotional toll of a market downturn? These reflections help shape strategies that protect capital and maintain emotional stability, a vital combination for long-term success. Another fascinating part of his approach is how he distinguishes perceived risk from real risk. Marx teaches that the riskiest assets often appear to be the safest because their popularity drives them to inflated prices, while assets that seem risky often offer the best risk-adjusted returns. This inversion of common wisdom is one of the most important curiosities for understanding how to see opportunities in times of uncertainty. Sayama also emphasizes the importance of diversification and not over-relying on a single investment thesis. He argues that even with a detailed analysis, the market can surprise you, and having a well-distributed portfolio is the best defense against the unexpected. This historical lesson, built on decades of experience, underscores the need to guard against the black swan, those rare, unpredictable events that can shake markets and fortune. Finally, Marx reminds us that risk management doesn't mean avoiding risk altogether, but embracing it intelligently. He believes that risk is at the heart of any investment, and the key is to recognize, measure it, and prepare for it. This philosophy perfectly aligns with his view of crises as opportunities, a concept we'll explore next. Crises as opportunity. The anti-cyclical strategy. Howard Marks has a fascinating perspective on crises. For him, they are extraordinary periods that offer the best investment opportunity. Rather than fearing moments of uncertainty, Marx embraces them with intelligence and patience, seeing what many others fail to recognize. His anti-cyclical approach is built on the idea that when others are selling out of fear, disciplined and intelligent investors should be buying. This philosophy was exemplified by his actions during the 2008 financial crisis. While the global market was crashing, Marx and his team at Oaktree Capital were heavily investing in distressed assets. He saw these assets, abandoned by desperate investors, as rough diamonds waiting to be polished. Debt securities and stocks trading for pennies ended up yielding incredible returns for those who had the courage to go against the tide. Marx believes that crises reveal a fundamental curiosity about human behavior, the tendency to panic. He observes that in times of fear, people overestimate the risks and underestimate the value. This creates an environment where assets are traded far below their true potential. To take advantage of such situation, Marx recommends keeping a calm and analytical eye, trusting in logic, not emotion. An essential part of his approach is preparation. Marx insists that success in times of crisis doesn't depend only on acting at the right moment, but on being ready before the opportunity arises. This means accumulating liquidity, maintaining diversification, and understanding economic cycles to know when prices are excessively low. As he often says, you can't predict, but you can prepare. Moreover, Marx emphasizes the importance of learning from past crises. He highlights how each period of turmoil offers valuable historical lessons, from the Great Depression to the tech bubble and the subprime mortgage crisis. By analyzing these events, he argues that investors can identify patterns and understand how human behavior tends to repeat itself, something he considers central to any intelligent investor's strategy. Marx also teaches that patience is key during crises, both in acting and in reaping the rewards. He explains that significant returns are rarely immediate. They require the ability to wait until the market recognizes the underlying value. This kind of resilience is a hallmark of investors who turn difficult moments into incredible opportunity. In the end, Marx's anti-cyclical strategy is an invitation to rethink our relationship with risk and uncertainty. He shows that instead of fearing periods of instability, we can use them as leverage to achieve success. This mindset is deeply connected to his long-term vision and the profound impact his ideas have had on an entire generation of investors, something we will dive into in the next section. The influence of Howard Marks' ideas on the financial world. Howard Marks is an influential figure not only because of his prowess as an investor, but also for the way his ideas have shaped the thinking of generations of financial professionals. His rational approach, grounded in a deep understanding of cycles and careful risk management, has inspired investors worldwide to rethink their strategy. Marks didn't just create wealth, he built a legacy of wisdom and mentorship that transcends the world of investing. One of the most remarkable aspects of his influence is the impact of his investor letter, which have become true guides for strategic thinking. Systematic investors of all experience levels benefit from his historical insights and practical advice, using them as references to navigate moments of uncertainty. His ability to connect complex concepts to everyday examples is a hallmark that makes his ideas accessible and powerful. Companies and fund managers have adopted many of Marks' principles, such as focusing on market cycles and the importance of thinking contrary. He reinforced the idea that in a world where most people follow the same trends, true value lies in standing apart from the crowd. This anti-cyclical mindset has become central to institutions and individual investors seeking long-term success. Marks has also influenced the market by showing that investing doesn't have to be a game of chance, but rather an exercise in patience and intelligence. His long-term approach has inspired a new generation of investors to prioritize careful analysis over impulsive decisions. A practical example of this is his focus on capital preservation, which he defends as the cornerstone of sustainable success. This idea resonated strongly, especially after a global financial crisis, when many realized the importance of minimizing losses. Additionally, Marks is revered for his transparency and willingness to share his mistakes. He doesn't just talk about successes, but reflects on the tough times and the lessons learned. This honesty creates a unique connection with his audience, who see him not only as a mentor, but as someone who understands the challenges they face. This humanized approach has further cemented his respect within the financial world. His influence extends beyond finance. Marks frequently explores psychological issues, such as the relationship between emotion and decision-making, which are applicable to any field of life. He teaches that to achieve the extraordinary, one must understand human nature, both in others and within oneself. This transformative perspective makes his ideas a source of inspiration for professionals in diverse fields, not just investors. Finally, Marks' influence is far from static. It continues to grow as his ideas are applied and adapted by new leaders and innovators. He reminds us that learning is a continuous process, and success is built on a foundation of curiosity, intelligence, and resilience. This enduring impact is what connects his work to the importance of both strategic and emotional intelligence, something we'll delve into in the next topic: strategic and emotional intelligence in investing. Howard Marks believes that in the world of finance, strategic and emotional intelligence is just as important as technical analysis. He argues that while numbers are essential, it's the ability to understand human and market dynamics that truly sets apart great investors. Marks frequently notes that financial decisions are deeply influenced by emotions like fear and greed, and knowing how to control them is the key to extraordinary results. Marks teaches that emotional intelligence begins with self-awareness. He argues that investors must understand their own emotional triggers in order to avoid impulsive decisions. During euphoric highs, for example, he recommends maintaining a skeptical stance and questioning the market consensus. Similarly, when fear takes over, Marks suggests focusing on rationality, reminding us that the most pessimistic moments often conceal incredible opportunity. For Marks, strategic intelligence is demonstrated in the ability to anticipate scenarios and prepare appropriate responses. He compares this approach to chess, where the best players don't just react, but plan several moves ahead. In the financial world, this means evaluating risk, assessing the impact of external events, and adjusting the strategy as the market evolves. This strategic foresight allows investors to stay one step ahead. A practical example of this combination of emotional and strategic intelligence can be seen during the subprime mortgage crisis in 2008, while many succumbed to panic. Marks calmly analyzed the data, identifying undervalued assets that later delivered significant returns. He didn't just trust his analysis, he also had the courage to act against the prevailing sentiment, the hallmark of a truly influential investor. Marks frequently emphasizes that emotional intelligence also requires humility and the willingness to learn. He believes that no investor, no matter how experienced, is immune to mistakes. This perspective leads him to share lessons from his past failure, reinforcing the idea that growth comes from constant reflection. It's a powerful reminder that the pursuit of knowledge should never stop, both in the markets and in life. Another fascinating point is how Marx links emotional intelligence to risk management. He argues that the biggest mistake investors make is underestimating the impact of emotions on decision-making. That's why he suggests adopting a disciplined approach with clear rules for when to buy and sell. This strategy not only protects against impulsive decisions, but ensures that moves are guided by logic rather than fleeting emotion. Finally, Marx inspires us to strike a balance between mind and emotion, reason and intuition. He teaches that by aligning strategic intelligence with emotional control, we can make safer, more resilient, and more successful decisions. This balance prepares us to explore the mysteries of the markets and handle the unpredictability of human nature, leading us to the next important theme: constant innovation in times of change. Constant innovation in times of change. Howard Marks believes that the ability to innovate is crucial to standing out in the financial world. He often points out that the market is constantly evolving, driven by economic changes, technological advancement, and human behavior, all influenced by global phenomena. To stay relevant, Marx teaches that investors need to adopt a mindset of continuous learning and remain open to new ideas and approaches. Marx observes that innovation begins with curiosity. He believes that by questioning the status quo and exploring the extraordinary, investors can spot trends before they become obvious to the market. A prime example of this is his approach to distressed assets, which he turned into an innovative strategy throughout his career. Marx recognized that these often neglected assets offered incredible opportunities when analyzed in depth. For Marx, innovation is also tied to adaptability. He stresses that markets are dynamic, and strategies that worked in the past may not be effective in the future. He encourages investors to monitor changes and adjust their tactics accordingly. For instance, the rise of technology-based investments and data-driven opportunities has opened new doors, but it also required traditional investors to adapt their methods to stay competitive. A notable aspect of his vision on innovation is the integration of technology into investment process. Marx highlights that tools like data analytics and artificial intelligence can provide historical and predictive insights that were once inaccessible. However, he also warns that technology should complement human analysis, not replace it. He believes that judgment and intuition remain essential in the financial world. Marx also reminds us that innovation doesn't mean taking excessive risk. He teaches that it's possible to experiment with new approaches without compromising the fundamental principles of risk management. An example of this is how Oaktree Capital manages its portfolio while exploring new asset classes. The firm remains conservative in its approach to leverage, always prioritizing capital preservation. Another important point is how Marx views innovation as a collaborative process. He encourages teamwork and the sharing of ideas as ways to explore different perspectives. In his firm, he fosters a culture of knowledge exchange, where analysts from various fields collaborate to create innovative solutions. This approach reflects his belief that the best ideas rarely come from a single person, but from a collective effort. Finally, Marx inspires us to embrace innovation not just as a tool for financial success, but as a life philosophy. He believes that by embracing change and exploring new possibilities, we can discover smarter ways to tackle challenges and achieve our goals. This mindset leads us to his final reflection: the impact of historical perspective on modern decision, a topic we'll explore in the next section. Howard Marks' insights reveal something crucial. The real secret to success in investing in life lies not in predicting the future, but in understanding the present and making smarter, more informed decisions. By mastering the art of strategic thinking, emotional intelligence, and risk management, you can transform even the toughest situations into opportunities for growth. But this is just the beginning. There's a whole world of financial wisdom and decision-making strategies that could completely reshape your approach to success. If you found these insights helpful, imagine how much more you could learn by diving deeper into this fascinating journey. So, twit if you want to continue exploring how the great minds of finance navigate uncertainty and transform challenges into triumph. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Join us as we continue to uncover more powerful strategies for success. You won't want to miss what's coming next.